Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Yesterday we did a bit of an overhaul for the Warriors of Chaos as a complete mod collection, and today, after spending a good amount of time on the workshop, and yeah, I mean around 2 hours considering the fact that many mods are outdated by this point, I think I've managed to create a decent enough collection to make it interesting for you guys while still keeping the feel of NORSCA alive as Creative Assembly have always interpreted it. So as before, all these mods were tested together to see if they all work, and they can all be found in one specific link in the description below, and you'll be able to pick and choose which ones you like, but I do think that all of them together work out quite well to make a more streamlined approach for NORSCA and much more enjoyable. First up, NORSCA will now have access to Pseudohordes. This is of course Wulfric the Wanderer, Frog the Troll King, and any vanilla baseline legendary lords and standard lords. This will not affect any other lords being added in through any sources of mods unless they have adjoining mods to them to make them Pseudohordes. But a small amount of buildings will be granted to all possible lords, and then you'll be able to go off and be a raider as the lore intends. If you wish to send Wulfric directly into Lustria, now you can, and you won't have to focus about building up any settlements. You have your own horde. The hordes themselves will only allow to recruit from the baseline vanilla roster, so anything that you add in through mods will not be able to do so. However, you can easily build up any places if you need it. Having access to this with generic lords will also give you a bit more versatility when it comes to actually playing with NORSCA, as they're not really in a good place, so being able to recruit whilst on the move is a lot better, especially when you start going down to southern regions in the Warhammer world. With this mod collection, the tech tree has been altered ever so slightly, just a few new technologies to add to some better quality of life stuff. In all honesty, the vanilla baseline one is pretty good for NORSCA. The only difference is this is not tied to taking over certain buildings or capitals and so on, so you'll be able to get benefits for certain units like trolls and so on without having to throw yourself into an enemy territory just to capture, say, Altdorf, Karazakarak, Blackcrag. It's just a bit more of a power boost as you actually progress through the campaign. In this clip, you would have noticed that I've been comparing it to vanilla baseline technologies, and they do pair up quite nicely. There's no complete difference in terms of power balance, so everything is still okay. I can't believe I'm even going to say this, but a big feature of this actual mod collection is Edicts. Yeah, Edicts. Because for some reason, Edicts were not available for any Norscan faction, and that just confuses me. I mean, it's understandable for the other regions in vanilla where you couldn't capture a complete province, but even for NORSCA you had no access to it. So now you'll actually have all the quality of life changes that you need to give yourself a little bit of a bonus. It's all themed, as you can see from the clips. For example, there's Chaos Undivided, which increases recruit rank +1 for all units and local recruitment capacity for 1. Sacrifices to the Crow will increase casualty replenishment rates by 5% for local armies and growth +20 for the local province. Sacrifices to the Eagle will increase Winds of Magic power reserve +2 for all armies and research rate +3% for faction wide. Sacrifices to the Serpent will increase public order +4 for local province, Chaos Corruption +1 for local province, and Chaos Corruption in all adjacent provinces +1. This is probably the most important one, as we all are aware that NORSCA has a public order issue, so this finally leaves you a little bit more stable in NORSCA. And lastly, Sacrifices to the Hound, melee attack +5 for local armies, and income from post-battle loot +5% for faction-wide. Yeah, it's a little bit overpowered, but hey, you know I didn't make this mod. For me, what stood out the most was literally the public order bonuses, as of course if you play in higher difficulties, well, you know it's going to be a bit difficult to send out your armies when you have to also keep them in your provinces to keep everything secure. Or, you know, waste valuable building slots on the public order building, which, yeah, nobody wants to do that. I don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. I'm not too sure why this is even a thing. Some new units have been added to the Norscan faction, even some faction-specific units only available to Frog, more on that a little bit later, but the amount of units added in is just from a small lore-friendly mod, nothing too drastic to just completely overwhelm the player. Now the main reason I wanted to show this off is because there's one new building known as a monolith. This increases your diplomatic relations with other Norscan factions, no more random war declarations variations from that faction up north next to the Dark Elves, and some actual buffs which, in all honesty, should all be centered in the same area. This is a new type of building which will just give you some benefits and also make enemy have some attrition damage and make them be able to move at a slower pace. It's just something which acts as a defensive building too. I'll be honest, I spent a long time in the workshop trying to find something for garrisons or at least, you know, walled settlements and stuff, but either it was very overpowered or it was just outdated, so this is probably the best middle ground I could find. Now you'll also be able to occupy every single settlement too if you so wish. Ignore the established outpost tab, I'm not sure why that's showing up, but just occupy is the standard way. Now you're free to be able to empire build with NORSCA if you so wish, as of course they're for some reason the only human faction, because yes, NORSCA are a human faction, that can't empire build and are restricted from being able to build on main ground, despite the fact that yes, they're humans, they still build. The vanilla mechanic of not being able to build is just kinda silly in my opinion, as we do know of Norskans being able to build inland too. Some of them even immigrate into the lands of the Empire and become citizens. It's not like they just completely lose their culture from that, you know? Plus, empire building is one of the biggest parts of Total War, so now you're able to do that with NORSCA. Now let's talk about the god bonuses. When it comes to a NORSCA campaign, you have to dedicate yourself to one god, which is okay, but sometimes you do want to play as Chaos Undivided, you want different benefits and so on, so with this mod collection you're able to do so. As it stands, when you do erect a shrine, you'll get 20 points to whatever specific god you've done so, and -1 to all the others. There's a big change there, as now obviously it will take 5 shrines to be able to get all the bonuses for one specific god. It will then lock and trigger any events as usual, but it will also change a little bit too. As you can see in this clip, I'm maxed out with a serpent, meaning that I've also got the legendary hero too, but if I go and attack another settlement and erect a shrine for another god, it will take off the max, and then I can start focusing on another god to get any specific bonuses. As far as I'm aware, you will not be able to get the bonuses for all 4 gods, as you won't be able to max out all 4 at the exact same time, but you will be able to max out one and get the secondary bonuses for all the other 3 gods, which is still pretty good. Pair that with the bonuses of becoming Ever-Chosen by defeating Archaon, and you're laughing pretty much all the way. And yes, this collection does also have a mod which stops enemies from resettling settlements for a certain amount of time. However, you don't have to have this if you don't want to, if you feel that it's too easy. And with the other stuff, to be honest, this isn't really needed. Now, I did mention earlier in the video that Frog was getting something a bit more than the others, so he's the Troll King, and he barely has any trolls or monsters in vanilla, so what this extra mod in the collection does is gives him a lot of trolls. Now you can actually use an army of monsters, and varied monsters at that, including some ranged ones, and a monster lord, which unfortunately will not have access to horde mechanics, but you can go for monster now, which is important. Frog should have always been like this, as his lore is very heavily focused around him using monsters and hating civilized humanity. Keep in mind, however, that if you're using this troll mod, you will not be able to confederate him as Wulfric, so it's very important to know that, as it will crash your game. Now, these are all the units added in for this collection. Keep in mind that the human ones are available to both Frog and Wulfric, but all the trolls that you can see there are only available for that of Frog and Frog alone. These are all different varied stuff, fast attacking, magic wielders, even some ranged trolls, so you can actually have a proper decent army with different types of unit variety and so on. It's just something to keep you monster focused, which is absolutely important when a legendary lord is known to only use monsters within his ranks. But that's pretty much it. I've honestly tried my best to make NORSCA as engaging as possible. Keep in mind that this was quite difficult. I really spent a lot of time on the Steam Workshop for this, and yeah, it was quite hard. There's just a lot of stuff in the workshop that's out of date, or is just not working, or conflicts with other mods. I've really tried my best here, guys. But hopefully this will make NORSCA a little bit more engaging for you guys, and not so depressing, because, yeah, NORSCA is just one of those races and factions that I try to avoid as much as possible. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our fame level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our king level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.